Beautiful Friday, beautiful bump love, beautiful ladies, beautiful Uganda. Is Uganda always beautiful?
Yes, it is.
We'll find out from our topic today. We're going to talk about the diaspora. What's it like when you're a Ugandan and you decide to live abroad or to live any country outside the country of your original home? What does that mean? What is home? What does it mean? Diaspora people and their luggage or baggage, whatever you may call it. I'm Beverley Namboza Nsengiyumva. Another Friday to share joy with you, to learn together and to have conversations.
Woohoo!
How are you today, Manuela?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine. I am currently speaking with a lisp.
Oh.
I think none of you realized.
Why?
You have braces? Yes, I do.
You weren't braces? Oh, I just realized.
Yeah,
That's why you've been quiet.
Isn't there like Isn't there like an age limit for braces, you guys?
They've started.
No, they're really good. I couldn't even tell.
Yeah. So I actually got aligners in. So they're kind of like the adult version of braces.
That answers my question.
Yes.
Right.
If I were to wear braces, whatever is to correct, I have an overbite. It's something called an overbite.
Yes.
It would take me about 2 years, but this is going to take me 7 months. I didn't know all this stuff.
Technology.
Every time I went anywhere, they would always tell me, yeah, you'd wear braces, you wear braces, until I went to a place called Uriel Dental.
Okay.
You guys, people are far ahead in this, like in their spheres of influence.
It sounds like a Hebrew name. Uriel.
Uriel, yeah,
Yes.
you guessed right.
Okay.
You
Is
guessed
it?
right. Yeah, it is.
Nice.
It is. And so he said, no, for a person like you who's in the media, you're always talking, you can't have
Can't have
braces,
metals.
you can't have metals. Although they did have a version that can be the color of your teeth.
Oh, nice.
Right.
So it blends nicely.
So it blends
But that's
nicely.
clear, right?
Yeah, now this is clear.
Okay.
So these are aligners.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Some people call it Invisalign or something
Invisalign.
like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yes, yes.
I'm familiar.
I knew you would know that
I know
one.
that one.
Yeah, so I kind of have a lisp. I've had this on for like a week now. So I kind of have a lisp, trying to get used to it. Yeah, so I can't eat anyhow. So
Okay.
Weight loss loading.
I'm gonna weight loss.
I mean, not like she's
Who
always
needs
she
Ozempic,
eats
right?
anyhow anyway. But
That's lovely. So you've got new braces, which we hadn't realized.
Yeah.
Congratulations on this change in your life.
Yes.
Samantha is our guest today, Samantha MBABAZI, and she's going to be telling us about the diaspora. But before that, tell us how you are. I'm sure they want to know
How you doing?
how you're doing.
Like today, like
Yes.
right now, in this
Like
moment.
right now?
why would we care about you?
I know, that's a good point, right? That's a good point. Okay, right now, it's a beautiful Friday.
Yeah.
I'm going on a weekend getaway with my hubby.
Okay.
Little vacation, guys. So I am very excited for this
Oh, that's
weekend.
good.
Yeah.
Enjoy the weekend.
Thank you.
Have fun. Have fun.
Thanks.
Barbara in peach. I think it's peach. What color is that?
It's giving coral.
It's beautiful. How are you today?
I'm back.
Yes.
We just celebrated Humphrey's 50th birthday.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really nice. He's so
Good.
happy. He's so excited.
Yes.
We had a big, nice party with relatives and
Cake?
friends.
Cake.
I don't know. That's how
Okay.
people be. That's how
Yeah,
women go down
yeah,
to his
yeah,
birthday.
yeah.
Oh, that's
So
great.
We're not invited.
Yeah, so that's how it was. I said friends and relatives.
So if you were not here,
Yeah. Hint.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's how we are. Our household is all excited and happy. We are still on vibes. Vibes.
that's
Yes.
nice.
Festive mood. Lovely.
And you, Bev?
Recently, as you may know, I am all about Chemutai Peruth.
Okay.
The first Ugandan woman to hold an Olympic medal.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay.
3,000 meter steeplechase. Oh, I am all about celebrating Ugandan wins, women wins. It's fabulous.
Yeah.
The first, we're alive to celebrate the first Ugandan woman to hold an Olympics medal. I'm so proud.
Yeah.
So I'm all about celebrating women who are doing great things in Uganda.
Yeah.
That's how I am.
But then tell us about your hair, because everyone's going to ask. And
Yes.
if you don't
By
talk,
the
then
way.
they will answer. So tell us what happened with your hair.
For those who know, my hair goes through phases. Short, long, short, long, short, long. Because I'm blessed, in 6 months it's an afro again.
Nice.
Whenever something revolutionary is happening in my life, I cut my hair. I have no idea what revolutionary episode I'm going
coming.
into,
Yeah.
but it's coming because I felt like this for 3 weeks. Shouldn't I? But the Afro people love it. but this is deeper than what people want. It's about what is necessary and is part of the whole revolution.
Yeah.
How did it feel when you
So-
cut it?
Oh my goodness, beautiful.
Yeah.
And especially when they compliment you, the people at the salon.
It's like you,
So I showed
you
them photos.
validated.
But you know, just this last week, the afro on the TV show, never again. Short hair, just have short hair. Don't braid it again.
But
I
you've
said,
always
last
looked lovely
week.
with short hair.
Thank
like,
you.
Because
Thank
like
you.
you said, you always go short, long,
Yes, short, long.
short,
Yes,
long.
yes.
And I think you always look like you have the
Thank
head
you.
shape for it.
Yeah, some of
Not
us could
Not
never be
everyone.
me.
No, but guys, I don't think I've seen someone, an African or Ugandan lady with short hair, irrespective of the
And they
Who
look
doesn't
like-
look good?
size, who doesn't look good.
Because people know that not to do it if they won't look good.
Those who have dared to,
I don't know.
they always look good.
Well,
Manuela, try for us. And we
No, but I did. I had
When you
short
did?
hair.
She went through a phase.
I
When?
had a phase.
Yeah.
Like a bob or like short,
No,
short?
like short, like even
remember
shorter
this.
than that. Like,
yes. I felt this was too long, but
Like-
for now,
No, it looks really good.
I will. Thank you. Thank
yeah,
you.
you look lovely.
That's me. Thank you. So you'll be seeing me few episodes with short hair.
Because
And
soon it will
The
blossom.
revolution.
Afro will be back.
It's
6
going to
months.
blossom. It's going to blossom, definitely. I love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I was thinking about conspiracy theories. I go down rabbit holes. But then I thought, what a tough topic. Why go into conspiracy theories? Why?
It's like I can't.
When Samantha walked in, I noticed her tattoo, Habakkuk Tutu.
Yeah.
So you have a tattoo.
I have 6.
Oh. All Bible engraved?
Where are the rest?
They're all
We
hidden
want to count.
in very conspicuous places.
When I saw your tattoo with the Bible, I thought, oh my goodness, there goes a tattoo. When I think of tattoos, I think of hidden parlors, dingy,
Yeah.
hidden from the light of the
That's
world.
interesting,
Explain to me, you
yeah.
have such a light, blessed verse shown in the open, a tattoo. Please
So
explain
this
that.
is my most like open one.
Yes.
The rest of them are in hidden places. Like I have some on my wrists, but I wear a watch or bangles or something, so they're hidden. Honestly, I cried when I did this one because it came out a lot bigger and louder.
Yes.
And I was like, what have I done? But it's too late now.
Yes.
But no, Habakkuk is my favorite verse. I'm a
Yes.
big believer in scribing and journaling and
Oh, good.
writing. And this verse talks about the power of writing a vision
It
and
does.
then watching it,
It
come
does.
to
Yeah,
fruition.
I mean,
So
Wonderful.
I love it.
Yeah.
What do you think of tattoos? I know you
I
have one.
have.
Yes.
I do have one. So you see, like how for you life changes are
Yes.
marked by cutting off your
Yes.
hair. I kind of feel like mine is by tattoos.
Oh.
This.
How many do you have? It's okay.
Are we asking how many or do you have?
This is
Sorry, you have. Sorry. I volunteered. My motion.
so this particular tattoo, my memory of it. Actually, my husband hates this tattoo
Oh.
because it came in a
I
very
love
difficult
it.
time of our marriage.
Oh.
And I think for me, I just needed special grace during that time.
yes.
I felt like I needed an angel. I needed help. Like I was crying out to God, and I was just like, Lord, help me. And I also feel like in that time that we were having like that really, oh man, we're really fighting. We're really, really having a hard time. I felt like that was a time I was like, let me go do something that's not in my
Nature.
nature, that's
Yeah.
not in my character. And I was like, what? I seem to have done everything.
What's the one thing?
What's the one thing? I've cut my hair. I've done everything.
Yeah, the
So
hair.
what can I do? Because usually it's the hair, because you have long hair, then you cut it short. And I'd cut it short.
Yes.
I was like, no, what? I'm like, a tattoo. So I go there, and then the guy's like, a tattoo of what? I'm like,
Oh, you didn't know before you
I
walked
didn't
in?
know.
So you start looking
I
around
was like,
his show.
At the
around,
pictures?
looking- So then he starts to ask me questions like, "What's your favorite cartoon? What was your favorite verse? What's
That's
your
a
favorite?"
good
like,
tattoo artist.
Like he
Oh,
just
engaged
kept
you,
asking
yes.
questions, and maybe something would come out. And so when he said, "What's your favorite cartoon?" I thought of Thumbelina. Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
like she's like, I don't know. There was something about her. What is she anyway? She's a butterfly.
You know, I
What
thought that
is
was
she?
Tinkerbell.
I mean Tinkerbell. Sorry.
Wow.
Not Thumbelina. Sorry.
It's okay. Let's go. We just go.
I don't think
Tinkerbell.
Thumbelina could fly, actually. Could she?
I don't think so.
No, it's
But that's okay,
Tinkerbell.
Tinkerbell.
It's Tinkerbell. Seeing as you're Tinker.
I was going to say, I might say it on you.
So what is she?
She's a fairy.
She's a
She's a
fairy.
pixie.
I don't watch cartoons.
Who delivered news from one place to another.
Yeah, something like that. But she brings light
she
and-
brings light and
Yeah,
just happiness and joy and magic.
Magic.
I needed magic. I needed a miracle. I said that
She's the one.
She represents it.
Yes.
Yeah, put
Okay.
her there. She's so feminine. She's so as in she just represents so much for me.
Yes.
She's not just a random tattoo. Then he goes like, so where do you want it? I'm like, oh God.
So many questions.
All these questions.
Because he said
here.
most
I
times
thought you'd just show
do
up and
something.
it would just...
Most people come and just say, put for me here, this one. But he got a person who was just like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. So I was going like, I don't know. People put here on the bum. He's like, no, that's sluttish. No. I'm like, okay, thanks. Because I was going to put it here. So he did quiz. He was a really nice person. So I told him what I was going through. I was like, okay, let the angel walk with you.
Oh, wow.
Oh, nice.
I like that.
Oh, lovely, lovely.
Good story.
So yeah, I do have a
Some.
tattoo. And I have many that are incoming. This time I will go more informed. I'll go more informed because I have thought through these tattoos. I have seen what they might look like, what I feel about them, and I am 100% sure they are coming. It's just that
Great.
they'll be in positions I can't share.
Barbara, do you have incoming or outgoing tattoos? Or
Hidden
never
or
have
same?
or never have appeared?
No, I don't. I don't think I'm that brave. I think I'm those people who have my pain threshold.
Yes, yes.
So I like them when I look at people with them. I'm like, oh, that's beautiful, and they really, what's the word? Accentuate.
Yeah, yeah.
If it's on somebody's leg,
Makes the
nice.
leg
If it's
look,
on the
yeah.
hand, so I'll find myself staring, but I'm like, I'm not that brave. Until they can get something that maybe just
Painless.
and takes it off. Yeah.
There's no
But that's
They are the
bubble gum
stickers.
sticker.
Just use a one cloth.
to be discussing bubble gum. But yeah, that's really what I
Okay.
feel.
I've never had a tattoo. I don't think I'll have one. And I'd frown if any of my children did because it would take me long to understand why.
Why?
Now that you've explained, I believe it's a decision that you have made in your adult years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And therefore it made sense. I would think they're escaping from some crisis as
Right.
children if they did one now. That's what I would think.
Oh no,
I definitely think there's an age appropriate time to
Yeah.
consider
Yes,
it.
yes.
agree.
Like when your brain is developed.
Yes.
As a child, you don't know anything.
You don't think there's an age appropriate time.
No, I think there is.
To escape from crisis.
There
But
is.
anyway,
However, I do like Habakkuk tutu.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
So much.
Right?
Yes, I
It's like
do.
my
So
daily
much.
reminder.
Aw.
Yeah.
Write the vision down.
Well, you've heard from our guest introducing herself, Habakkuk Tutu, Samantha MBABAZI. She has lived in the US for close to over 25 years.
Over 25 years.
Yes.
Came back 2019, just before COVID, and has been here, works for an international NGO, senior operations manager. We invited her here because for long, Barbara, Manuela, and I have been discussing diaspora. I didn't even know there were different types of diaspora. How do people do it? What is this American dream? What is this UK dream? Why do people leave? Why do they come back? What happens in between? What are the
Yeah.
discussions, the thought processes? And Samantha, so glad you're here to share with us.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
I know people have questions. I have questions. I have questions.
Ask.
My first one, and I've always been yearning to ask this. What is this American dream? Is it
Oh, yeah.
elusive? Is it
Is it
achievable?
real?
Is it real?
Is it real?
Oh, is it a conspiracy?
Yes, because you were in the US,
Yeah.
actualized, discovered yourself, grew, established an identity so much, and you came back in your late 20s. What is the American dream, though? Share that with us if you can.
Honestly, I don't know that, like, I don't think you can describe it as one thing.
Yes.
I think it's different for everyone. But I know one of the things that is universal with whoever you talk to who's been in the US is the opportunities that are available.
Great.
I feel like here, there's a lot of technical know-who.
Yes.
Whereas there, you genuinely can get far in life just off of technical know-how. Like if you work hard, no matter
Yes.
where you started from, no matter who your family members are, you can get to a state of like full actualization. Whereas here, I don't think it's as easy. I think it's very easy to get stuck at a certain level. And I think many people escape developing countries for that very thing. Because once I get to go to a new place, I can start from scratch. Nobody knows who I am, where I came from. All I have to do is A, B, C, D. It's like a very simple playbook. Go to school, I do this job, I work hard at my job, I do some extra certifications on the side. And you can easily work your way up to success, whatever success means for you. At least
you talked about
professionally.
opportunities, which is great. Opportunities should be access to everyone. Everyone work hard for it. The fairness of the system.
And yet here you can see someone work really hard and go
yet
absolutely nowhere. Like,
in a
going
circle,
around in a circle.
a cycle, and frustrating.
And it's also luck. I think there's an element of luck here, which for some people is great, right? You might land on a deal, right? And then that you're really fortunate.
Or the right people.
Or the right people, and you're really fortunate. I'm sure there's an element of luck, but again, it's you have a lot more power.
The power.
Incentive, I love that. You're incentivized to work hard.
Yes, speaking of luck, in Donald Trump's book, Think Big and Kick Ass, he wrote, the harder you work, the luckier you get.
That's true.
I guess it can work there.
But not
here, no.
So different.
Here we have guys that spend the day in restaurants, in cafes, and they're making millions because they're able to broker deals,
true.
Tenders, they're called tenderpreneurs.
Those ones.
That's so funny,
And then there are those ones who just get money for doing nothing, just being cute and being.
There's also that.
Is it there?
Or connectors.
Back to the American.
No, that's great. That's great.
Were you going to ask?
No, go ahead.
Can I add something though?
Yes.
So I talked about opportunity, but I will say though, I think there's plenty of opportunity here as well.
Yes.
Because it's such a young country, from a development standpoint, the opportunity to grow is endless, right? So you can kind of go into any industry, you can travel, experience something that we don't have here, and then bring that here, and you can be the first person to do it.
To do it right.
And so the opportunity is also here, but again, there's still there's a lot of barriers, the system.
I do believe there are many hardworking individuals who have succeeded because they work hard here.
Sure.
I do agree as well that the system can create a barricade, but there are many hardworking individuals. The American dream, though, is something that is consistent based on a foundation of hard work.
Correct.
Correct. The barrier of nepotism is almost non-existent. Or the barrier of tribe, or the barrier, I would say.
It's a big one. Well, the equivalent of tribe, though, is racism.
Right.
So there may be tribalism, which is bigger.
Why are you saying it there? Yeah, we don't know.
Right. Tribalism, racism, I mean, it's very similar, but it's very systematic.
I also think another thing about the American dream is it's systemized.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
So to get your ID, you don't have to pay someone.
Oh my goodness.
To get an ID.
Just
there are steps.
Follow
If you live in the US for 7 years and you have this, you can come and present and you will become a citizen. Period. So I feel like theirs is the dream is systemized. You can.
It's more possible.
Yes, it's more possible. You can get it. So how would so one thing I haven't told you guys, and that I haven't told anybody, is that she's actually my sister.
Drop that in there.
Yes, she is my sister. And I need to say this because you don't know it, or maybe you do.
What don't I know?
Maybe. I'm not too sure. So I've told you guys, like, we grew up and we are poor. Right?
I think I know where you're going, and I think I know it. But go ahead.
I'm going to go ahead even if you said no. And so they were leaving the country, and they were giving away all the things that they had, right? And she said, I have to give Manuela this doll. So she had this big Minnie Mouse.
It was
like
Minnie Mouse.
Big, huge Minnie Mouse. That was the only doll I ever received my entire life. So you're the one who gave me my first and only doll. You didn't see that one
I didn't see that one coming, no, but I remember.
Only doll I ever owned. She loved
Minnie
it, but
Mouse
she couldn't go with it. And I think... you had to leave it.
I had to leave it.
She had to leave it, and she said, "No, then
but I left it to
let's
Manuela.
give it to Manuela." And at this point, I'm older than you, though. I'm older than you. By the time she's going, I was like, my first doll. I cried into that doll. That doll saw me through life, and I think I let go of it finally, just before I got married. Can you imagine? Like that's how.
Have that doll.
Somebody need to talk to him. right?
Something else.
To be fair, something better, so it's okay.
Someone.
It's okay. Someone.
Someone. But
better.
you were happy that he's the one who
Yes,
replaced.
I am.
So how do you define home now for you? Like what is home?
Yeah. So I struggle with this because a couple of people have asked me this question before. And some people feel like you can only have one home.
Yeah.
I don't think that. I think you can have multiple homes.
Okay.
I consider both the States and here home. But the States is home because I guess it's also tied to the people you love. So my husband is here, this is home.
Yes.
Yeah.
My husband, my dad, my mom is in the States.
Yes.
And my mom, as Manuela knows, is like, she's my best friend.
Yeah.
I love her to pieces. And so as long as she's there,
That's
Yes.
home.
that is home as well. And that will never not be home.
Yeah.
So I straddle the line, though I think that comes with its challenges because you never really fully settle in a place. Because even now, we're having conversations about, like, where do we see our life and where are we going to settle? And like, would we live in America for an extended period of time? What does that look like? How long is too long? When we have kids, where do we want them to grow up? So those dynamics, I think, also come up when you have this idea of, oh, there's two homes because you're emotionally attached to both.
Both, yeah.
But so, yeah, I think both are home. Is a short answer.
That's a good. That's a good.
It's a tough one.
That's good. That's
It's
beautiful.
tough.
Yeah, but I know when I first moved back, there was I remember talking to a friend of mine who Canada was his home for longest, and then he moved to Uganda. He's Ugandan, and his thing was you need to pick one because financially, emotionally, there's so many issues you will have in the future if you just don't settle in one. And there may be some truth to that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think we also fear the future a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
I think we also fear a lot. We live in a lot of fear that if I don't do this now, in the next 10 years,
the consequences
this is
could
going
be.
to happen. Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that your decision is good.
Yeah, I think so.
I love that definition, definitely.
Yeah. And I also feel like where we're going, like right now, I've had so many people in our social class say things like, no, I also have a home in Rwanda.
Yes.
Oh, I also have a home in
South Africa.
I also have a home. So I feel like now more than ever with how global the world has become, it's almost possible now to kind of have like two homes. Yeah. I do guess ultimately you do have to, quote unquote, have that one side that
roots you.
Lean on, yes.
Yeah.
But
but the idea of having somewhere else also exists because for you, that's where you grew up. And here, you've just been here
spent, the majority of my life was
your
there.
life was there.
Yeah.
And now to say, now Uganda is my home, I think it's such a quick decision for you.
Yeah.
Until you've taken at least some good number of years, 10 years, then you're like, okay, and then say, okay, I feel like between the two, this is where my home is. But I think one other thing that you said that's so beautiful is that home is where the people that you love are.
Yes.
And I thought that was beautiful.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because it means you can go anywhere with them.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
There's that
I'm doing
freedom.
research on a book, and when I went to northwestern Uganda, there was a sister, a nun, who had been there for decades. She had been through Uganda's worst times where people were victims of the political turbulence, and she treated so many of them. She died 2 years ago. Before she died, her relative said, why don't you come back to Italy so you can rest in peace? She said, no, my heart is here. And her grave is just by the dispensary where she worked and served people. I spoke to the nurses there, and they said, no, her heart was here. She did so much. It's only right that her grave is at the front of the dispensary. She said, and it is. Those people who dedicated their lives to a calling away from their origin of birth.
Yeah.
Right.
It was home. You couldn't define it any other way.
Yeah.
Her calling was to be in Uganda, and she served so much.
But at that point, had she spent the majority of her life? Like, when did she come?
Oh, like 90% of her life was in
here.
Uganda.
So then it does
think
make
that
sense.
also-
There you go. And they were
Yeah.
telling her, no, go back home. And she's like, this is where
this
my
is
heart
home,
is. That's
yeah.
what she said. My heart is here.
But Uganda is also one of the places that many foreigners, once they get here, the
They
weather,
can't go back.
the food, the warmth of the
So
people,
true.
the women, yeah, it's one of the places that even Kenyans, like we're just across. There's so many Kenyans when they get here, as long as they have good jobs and money, they're ready to live in Uganda.
Yeah, so true. It's a beautiful place. But I can imagine what that feels like, not being able to answer that question with people.
Yes.
It must make you feel a certain way. And I get many people that live in the diaspora struggle with it. Like, where is home?
So it's I had this debate with my dad last weekend. So when I introduce myself, sometimes I'll say I'm Ugandan American, and he hates.
He's also choose one. He's also choose one.
What do you not even choose one? You're Ugandan. What do you mean? You were born here. Your parents are Ugandan. What is this Ugandan American? No, you're Ugandan. You spent time in America. Okay, you have an American passport, but you're Ugandan.
Yes.
And so he has that mindset of like there is no such thing
Of
as
Ugandan American.
Ugandan American. What's that?
Yes.
Wow.
But that makes so much sense also.
Yes. But you know it also helps because you're going to say you're Ugandan, then your accent, and the person. But how come you have that accent?
So I just shedded half the
But
conversation.
how come you? But how come you don't? They talk about a place and you're like, where is that? Or something,
don't you know?
or an incident that happened a few years ago, and you don't know. But how come you don't? Then you have to explain. No, I spent time. So when you say I'm Ugandan American, it answers some questions. They'll be like,
It explains the
Can you tell him
the
that?
accent as well.
I'm going to take you to the next
I
family
believe
event.
And then I'll be your spokesperson.
Thank you. Clearly,
Going
I was doing a
forward.
good job.
I believe home can be anywhere. It's one of those, your heart, your calling, home can be anywhere. I've always believed that.
I say it,
yes,
but I don't think.
Also-
For me, no.
I remember one
Uganda
time.
is my home. Yours?
But if your husband, let's say, got an opportunity, you guys move as a family,
And you stayed there
you
for
stayed there
years.
for years.
I don't like discussing hypothetical.
The same person.
Let's deal with real things.
No, because I remember one time when we were teenagers and saying, oh my goodness, marriage. I said, whether I get married to an Australian, an Indian, a Japanese, a Ugandan, I do not care. She was shocked. What? You would consider marrying a... I was like, I didn't know people thought like that there's a problem with marrying a non-Ugandan. Never in my life did I think my friends who went to good schools with me would think that there's something wrong with marrying a non-Ugandan. I was aghast. I was shocked. I was like, oh my goodness, they're equal people. They're beautiful people. You can fall in love with anyone.
Absolutely,
And,
they are.
And then another time, as an adult, I mentioned it again. I said, love finds you anywhere. Love. My parents would be shocked if they knew. But I said, you're not marrying your parents.
Right?
It's you, your heart.
Yeah.
And she was, it's wrong. A Ugandan. I can only marry a Ugandan. I said, you cannot be that backward to think like that. Surely you're not backward to think that there's something wrong with marrying a non-Ugandan, that they're not human either. She said, it's not being backward. Oh my goodness. I was shocked that this person, educated, could think like that. I don't know. People are different, clearly.
They are different.
Yes.
They have their own opinions, and opinions are great.
Yeah.
You married a Ugandan.
I did.
Yes.
After living in the US all
And
this
after
long.
saying I would never marry a Ugandan.
Hey, there you go.
Another she's Ugandan American.
Love finds you. Barbara, you had a
finds
question
you.
about problems in the diaspora. Scary stories.
The other day somebody posted and
Yes.
said, I don't think if I went to America I would get lost. After watching all the movies, I think they even picked and said, especially Washington. I think that's
About this. She's seen the State House in the
Well,
movie.
yes,
Like,
yes. I
The
found
White
it
House,
really
rather.
funny. So that's the impression some Ugandans have
That they could never get lost.
No,
Because they've seen the White House
Yeah,
in
yes, they could never.
24.
Yeah, but also because the movies sort of show a certain kind
Image,
of life.
yeah.
Like even for the immigrants, leave your country, go get a job quickly, move into your own home, start a family, then get rich.
Yes.
So there are many stories that we have, and even for people that are here and are struggling with life, they're like, if
When
I went, or when we've had people sell off all their property to get the visas and tickets just to leave. So there's a thing of, it's better, it's much better out there. What doesn't help is when you guys come back.
With those white sneakers.
In that last week before they come,
Yes.
they buy the best clothes, the best shoes,
white t-shirts.
do makeup, hair, white t-shirts.
Wigs.
And the white has disturbed Manuela.
It has really disturbed me. I
Wigs. So they come back here, and then you've saved like a year or so for this holiday. So when you come, you're very liquid.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
guys, let's have lunch. I'll pay. Guys, so
Such a false sense of reality.
yes. So the impression they live here is that everything is better there. Life is better. They must wear nice makeup. That's why they're getting the nice makeup. Then when they're going back, they're like, guys, I can't leave you my clothes. Who wants my clothes? Kumbe, she's going back to wear joggers and jumpers. It's too cold. She can't wear this kind of dress there. So the impression that's been painted is it's much better. The grass is real greener there.
Yeah.
Greener with roses, not just greener. So what are some of the stories of hardships that you can share with us, or difficulties you've seen?
Okay, and that's an interesting one. First of all, racism is real, but we're not going to have that conversation. I will, just to keep it lighthearted, I think and this is so cliche, but it's so true.
Yes.
The grass is greener where you water it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? Like every place has the good, the bad, the ugly. Every place, no matter where you go. Even when people ask me, oh, which one do you prefer? I can't answer that question. There's things I love about the States that annoy like driving.
Yeah.
The roads, the highways, Manuela.
No, they're all roads.
Highways. There's things I love about the States, the order, the structure,
Yes.
that I don't get here. But there's things that I love here, the weather, the culture, the food that I won't get there. The challenging thing for me when I was there, and part of why I moved back 20-something years later, was I always felt like while I was there, I equated to, imagine you have several buckets filled with water.
Yes.
Right.
In the States, I felt like there were certain buckets, my career, for example, that were really full. Like I am doing so well professionally, but the rest of the buckets were just like barely filled.
Yes.
Right.
Whereas here, I feel like all my buckets are half filled, right? They're at least leveled in the different aspects of life, spiritually, physical fitness, family and friends, culture, emotionally, work, all those buckets. So I feel like I'm a more holistic person in many ways here than over there. There, the grind is so real. The fact that, it's so funny, somebody asked me, they were like, is it true that in America, like on a regular Wednesday, you can just be in your house drinking wine in the afternoon?
Oh my goodness.
Like in the movies, it's a working day and people are just chilling in the afternoon like they don't have jobs. Like, is this the reality? Like, absolutely not. I never remember having that luxury, ever. Here. Not that I don't know if my boss will ever see this, not that I'm out here having wine in the middle of the afternoon, but there's a certain flexibility that the life here awards you.
Yeah.
And so I do feel like my work-life balance is a lot better here.
Yeah. Wow.
And there's many opportunities for like side hustles. So you're not, and casual side hustles. It's not like I'm really grinding.
Overnight.
Burning the midnight oil to make money. Like somehow money finds you randomly here, right? Whereas there, there's always, what's this saying about you live to work or you work to live? I think there you live to work.
Yes.
Here you work to live.
Yeah.
The money comes, you enjoy. The money comes, you enjoy. There, you're constantly working for this dream that people are seeing on TV that you're constantly chasing.
And I can attest to that because every time I visited.
Yeah, I felt so bad. Sorry.
Oh, darling,
We're always busy.
I was so fine.
Okay.
You are in your American dream.
I was in my American one. What do I need you for? They would be out hours on end and then come back only in the evening. And when they would come back in the evening, they were
tired.
And me, I'm just like, oh my God, do you know what? Do you
Welcome
do?
back.
Manuela has toured DC. She's come back, shopping bags, eyes wide open, picture like she has had a day.
And they're just like, good for you.
Ma'am.
Good for you.
Left the house at 6:30 in the morning, coming back at like 6. And then
You just don't care.
Yeah.
One thing I'd like you to speak into that stood out for me every time I visited is the loneliness.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. People live in a household together, but you're working different shifts. So sometimes you don't even get the time, maybe until Sunday, even for married couples. They get only like Sunday afternoon to have a conversation, to sit together. One person's leaving and we meet at the bus stop. I'm holding the kids, hand over to you, dinner's in the microwave. Then when I come back, you're leaving.
It shifts, it's literally.
It shifts.
Yeah, so people are working all the time and hardly seeing each other.
That's true.
I felt their loneliness every time I visited. Yes, and I felt sorry and I was like, I can't do this. But can you speak into that?
Yeah, so I don't think there's any surprise. Uganda is very communal. I think generally Africa, but I don't want to speak for all countries. But yeah, in the States it's very individualistic. Like everybody is so focused on, again, their grind. I have to be up early. I come home late. I don't have time to host my Ugandan cousin or Ugandan sister who's come to visit. Like I'm sorry, I don't have leave. I don't have leave days. And so you can't help but kind of be focused on like your own life.
Yeah.
And in the process, that's why I said like my social bucket wasn't full. Here, every weekend there's something going on. Every week there's always there's a kuhinjira, a wedding, a birthday, a graduation, just a pool day with the girls. Like there's always something happening. Whereas there you just, or another thing is there, everything is it's expensive. So anytime you want to plan something socially, there's a cost associated with that. A huge cost associated with that. You leave your house, you spend over $100 easily before you even reach
Oh my
noon.
goodness.
So it's one of those things that you have to think twice before agreeing to kind of any social engagement, which is unfortunate. But yeah, you're right. It does get very lonely. And then you have the added winter. Right?
When you can't be as mobile as
you can't be as mobile. Who wants to be out in the cold? We're not doing anything, so everyone's stuck in their homes. So that's also a challenge.
I'd like to ask about the shifting identities, because your identity grows or is established from the time you spend in a place, right? Shifting identities, a Ugandan who moved to the US for a number of years, and then you face other people with their own identity spaces of understanding, trying to grasp who they are. And I'm speaking specifically about the Black Lives Movement, which we in Uganda heard about, were entertained by, we became engrossed with. Black Lives Matter has been a movement that's gone on, sparked off by different disparities in the way blacks are treated by the security forces and whites. Incidences on YouTube, TikTok, places going viral, the aggression, the outrage, and of course, black people and others, protests. It all just filtered into our living rooms, onto our phones. The discussion was somewhat non-existent in Uganda. Or I remember the US Embassy tried to navigate something and support, but otherwise, I want to know what that is. You're a Ugandan, you lived in the US for long, so now you're Ugandan American. And I'm sure you've witnessed this, you've been part of it. What do African Americans think when they meet Africans who are from the continent? What's that discussion like, especially identities and who is who, where is what, where are they going?
Yeah. It's such a tough topic. So unfortunately, there's a divide, I think, between African Americans and Africans. And most diasporans, at least those in the States, I think feel caught in the middle, right? Because
you're
I'm not like fully African American, but I'm not like fully African. And I had a friend, we talk about this all the time, being otherized. So when I'm in Uganda, I'm seen as like, you're not really Ugandan, you're from outside countries.
That's true.
And then when I'm in the States, it's like, you're not really American, you're African. And then you're just stuck in the middle with this like almost identity crisis. But you get the plight of both sides. Yeah, you get the plight of both sides. With Black Lives Matter, and Manuela and I have talked about this before. We talked about it during COVID. So I moved in 2019. I think the peak of Black Lives Matter happened in 2020.
2020, yes.
Yeah. And I remember talking to, first of all, I remember seeing what was going on TV and not really having anybody to talk to who could relate about it, right?
I remember that.
And so I would talk to my friends in the States, and there was so much emotion around what was going on. One of my really, really good friends who I also worked with when I was there, I remember her telling me that the company had decided to put out a statement or put out a release to the entire organization that we're not going to get political, we're not going to talk about it, this is not a topic that we're going to discuss at work. And for her, it was just like, excuse me, because it's happening, and a large majority of the employees in this organization are black, and we are going through something. Psychologically, it's messing with us. Mentally, emotionally, we're not okay. How dare you write a statement that we're not allowed to talk about this, we can't talk about it, and you're not going to do anything. And I felt her pain through the phone. I wanted to be there to console her. And I remember getting off the phone and wanting to talk to somebody here. Who? And unfortunately, there's this, and I get it. People have said blacks in America are second-class citizens in many ways.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
Yeah,
Because
that's
of the
true.
racism
Yeah.
and the plight and the systematic issues that are there. Blacks in Africa, this is your country.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? You don't have the same challenges. So if I'm African living on the African continent and life is good for me, I'm living in an amazing place, I don't have to worry about racism. I don't have those same challenges. Sitting across from a brother or sister who has the same skin color as me, who's saying life is hard, I am struggling, there's a glass ceiling for me at work, all these challenges, an African's just going to look at them like,
I don't get
I
it.
can't relate.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I
Yes.
don't have that same challenge.
Yeah.
But on the surface, we look the same,
Yes.
right? And there's also this situation where many Africans will go to the States in the beginning, and they're just like, I don't understand what the problem is with African Americans. This thing is in their head.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they don't see it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I remember at one point I even said when I was in the earlier stages of me being there, I don't see racism, I don't see color. I used to say things like that until you experience it and you're like, oh, this is it. This is it. Oh, it's
Now I
happening.
see it.
Now I see it.
Yeah.
Now I'm feeling it. I remember being followed around in a shop with my mother. It was like a jewelry shop.
Yes.
And there's this following of like, hey, do you need anything?
But then there's
Customer service, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Yes.
But it was one of those, and there were cameras, not cameras,
Oh.
mirrors at the top, and you could see the lady just kind of kept following
I
us,
thought you were pilfering something. Can you imagine?
right? And that was my first experience of racism, and I was just like, this is weird. But when you try to explain that to somebody who's never experienced it, of course, it's going to be like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, I think
Yeah.
you're imagining, maybe it was something else, but you can't tell me what I've been through.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't
You
tell me what
cannot
I'm
know.
feeling, what
Yeah.
I've
No.
felt. You can't tell me what I've seen.
Or try and control the way you
Or
should
try and
feel.
control the way
Yes,
I should
no,
feel.
no.
And there's a bit of resentment, I think,
Yes.
when these conversations happen between Black Africans and Black African Americans, where there's a bit of tension because
Yes.
you just don't get it.
Yeah.
I think it's problematic when people say, I don't see color, I don't see, because you are obviously, you lack self-awareness and you are acutely magnifying a problem that is obvious. Acknowledge it and then find a way of being gracious and respecting people who look different from you visibly.
Yeah.
I used to say, I know what they mean, but otherwise you're magnifying a problem and you're burying your head in the sand like an ostrich.
I don't know. I don't think so. I think that that's their experience.
Yeah.
And I'm in a place in my life where I acknowledge someone else.
Yes.
And I acknowledge their
don't feel it.
experience.
Yes.
But I also acknowledge that it's different from mine.
Yes. But also
And
you're
so,
acknowledging, you see.
I
They don't acknowledge at all.
I, for example,
Yeah.
might say,
Yeah.
I don't see color because I live in Uganda.
Yes.
I would have had to be in the States
Yes.
to see color, but I live
Yes.
here in Uganda. So, rightly so, for me, my experience says, I don't see color. I don't see racism.
Until you
Every time
do.
I come to
Until
the
you do,
US,
right.
Until you do.
Until I do. But
Yes.
until I have,
Yes.
I don't see
Yes.
color. And
Yeah.
you know what? It's okay because you live in Uganda. But I can acknowledge
Yes.
that, for my brothers and sisters, somehow
There's a struggle. There's
they're
a struggle.
struggling.
No,
That
not
I
that-
don't know
Yes.
what they're talking, what they're jazzing.
Yes.
But
I can't feel that
can't
same
feel
thing.
It.
Yeah.
Me when I go to the US.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the
I'm
people
on
who
a
say
board.
that.
In fact, when
Yes.
they're being racist towards me, I can't tell.
don't
Do you?
feel- yes.
No, but the people who say that are actually saying, what is wrong with you? They're not saying, I've been in Uganda, I don't see it. They actually live there. They're saying, what is wrong with you?
What do you
so
mean?
it's coming from a superiority thought. It's not coming from where you're speaking. You're saying you're from Uganda, and rightfully you said you don't see it until you did experience it. These people have seen it, but they're like, what they're saying
Get
is
over
get
it.
over it. That's
Yeah.
what they're saying. That's
Oh,
what I mean.
my
That's what
goodness.
they're saying.
Oh,
I
Get
must
over
say,
it.
I
Yeah.
must say, and I'm sorry, I'm going to come back
Yeah.
to it. I must say that for them, I will
Yeah.
now give you an example
Yeah.
of, I know that this one you might not like, Candice Owens.
Yes.
She's like, what are we talking about? And she's lived in the US
she's
all
American.
her life. I mean, yes, exactly, but she's black. That's what I'm talking
Yes.
about. So, but for her experience of racism is get over
Get
it.
over it, yeah.
You're
Yes.
gay, get over
Yes.
it. You're whatever, get over, get
Yes.
over yourself.
You're gay,
For
get
her,
over it? How did we get there?
No,
Anyway.
what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to say the kind of person that
Yes,
she is,
yes.
so that you might understand what her experience is.
Yes.
That, yes, even while she lives in the US,
Yes,
And then
but she
people like that.
acknowledges
That's
it,
true.
but she's
You
not
understand?
denying it. You see, that's what I'm saying.
But
she
that doesn't
acknowledges
mean,
it's
just
there.
because I say,
Yes.
just because she says
Yeah.
she doesn't see race, doesn't see
Yeah.
color, does not mean
Yeah.
that she's saying somebody else's experience is wrong. She's
Yeah.
just saying that's her experience.
Yes, but she acknowledges it.
Yeah.
that
And I
you're
think the
different
issue is
colour.
some people don't
Yeah, some people don't.
acknowledge
That's what I'm
it, and
saying.
that's where the
Some
challenge
just have
is.
Yeah.
refused. But excuse me.
They've chosen to
It's
bury
there.
their heads
They've
in the
chosen to
sand.
bury
That's what
their
I'm
heads,
saying.
yeah.
They're burying their heads in the sand. So
That's
Candace
it, yeah.
acknowledges it, but don't bury your head in the sand.
Yeah.
There's something that I've been struggling with. Every time I came to the States, I found these guys had this culture. Like when the traffic lights would go off, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Is it 10 cars go at a time from each row or something like that?
Please
no
explain. When they
science.
go off.
Yeah, when
When
the
they
traffic
right,
lights
like
green.
all go off.
Oh.
No, off, I mean masanyalazi.
Oh.
Yes, masanyalazi
Oh,
goes
that
off.
they are not
in
lighting.
the
There's no yellow,
In the
there's
US,
no
there's no
green.
yellow, there's no green, there's no... Guys,
The lights are
electricity
not
goes,
working.
The lights are not working.
And it's not because of rain.
Meanwhile,
No.
I'll see her thinking,
Please don't say
Manuela.
that. How am I to
I see her
go?
thinking, now Manuela, she can't say when the traffic lights change or when they, I was like, off. Anyway.
No, off
She
like...
literally meant off.
I think it was
like
an
off.
English problem.
Masanyalazi off. The traffic lights in the US at Rodeo Drive are not working. What I found really interesting was that everybody stops and then clockwise 10 cars go.
Order, law
Order,
and
Next
order,
10
order.
cars. Next 10 cars. Then I also found that every time they're driving in one file, in two files, and then they have to enter one file, one car goes after another.
Order.
Order. In Uganda, you can see me getting out, opening my window. Excuse me, one after another. Zin. Because everyone is trying to, they are driving bumper to
It's
bumper.
such a risk. You
Yes.
can't, the accident.
Yes.
Driving in this country
And
is
the
a
whole
sport.
time I just be like, one after another. That to say. What are some of the best practices, now that you've lived in both countries, what are some of the best practices that you believe that we can learn from people abroad?
Oh, that's a good one. Well, you've talked about one. Traffic, driving, etiquette on the road. Yeah, that's a big one. Customer service is another one that I struggled with,
10 out of
still
10,
sometimes
yes.
struggle with.
Yes.
Here, I'm just like, what are we doing? Yeah. That's a big one. Just, I guess, how to run a business professionally
Yes.
Right.
is a big one.
Yes.
Best practices. Oof. You know, I don't know if this is necessarily a best practice because I think there's good in it, but I find that we're very, and maybe because it's the war and where we came from, I don't know. But we're very, that's tomorrow's problem. We don't really plan. We're just very like laissez-faire in how we move and how we deal. And it's just like someone can show up at your house uninvited, unawares. I'm here. Are you home? I'm coming.
You wanted social. You are social.
You know, that's the thing. It's here. This is the social bucket.
The bucket is brimming.
It's overflowing. No.
Brimming now.
So it's a good thing, but at the same time, there's also some niceness in again order.
Yeah.
Right? Like ask me like in advance.
Yeah.
Don't come and ask me like, what are you? Who called me recent? Oh, it was you.
Are you home?
Uganda.
And then you answer that it depends.
I won't put you on the spot, but it happened.
I
It happened
needed you. It was an
recently.
emergency.
It was an
I
emergency.
even
That's
called
fair.
and said,
That's fair.
girl, I would not be calling you unless
But
it was
tomorrow.
an emergency. But tomorrow I need
this
you.
big thing. I was like, okay. So there's a bit of that, but I think that also goes on back to law and
Yes.
order.
Yes.
That's the biggest one, honestly.
Yeah.
Because whatever you can think of that's a challenge here
Yeah.
can be bucketed under if we had law and order.
Yes. Law and order there.
It would trickle down
It would
to
trickle
the
down.
bare minimum.
Yeah, that's structure.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think.
Another
But I don't want to
thing
talk badly about you. There's so many nice things.
There are many nice things. No, we don't want you to talk about badly. Another thing that I found interesting about the States was how much they brand the country.
Oh, what do you mean?
Like, so when you watch the movies, for example, I'll go with Rodeo Drive because you saw how disappointed I was with it. It's just a street from here
To there.
up to there. But when you see it in the movie, like when I came, I was like, assignment, I have to go to Rodeo Drive. They said, no, you can walk there. It's just, that's
Just this is it.
what? The Hollywood side. You know, really? Wait, this is okay. Maybe State House, but is it State House? The White House?
House,
It was as grand as
DC
I imagined
generally is
it
as grand
was
as
as grand
it's-
as it.
yeah.
But like when like that side of California and especially Hollywood, I was just like,
What is this?
You wanted
they
more.
lied to us now. I thought I would never find rubbish in the States. I was there filming all the rubbish.
Just.
I was just like, "Eh, these guys also have rubbish. Poor people. Poor.
Yeah.
Poor.
it exists.
Poor as in living. Their bed is under a bridge with a mattress with.
And
A
it's because
tent.
we're cold.
Yeah.
Thank you. I would just be
Yes.
passing like people. Tetuli bubinyo, senior, because
that
it's not that
bad.
bad because also here in the States,
It exists.
then you find beggars.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, but then I thought to myself, they've done such a
branding.
good job with branding their country.
My goodness.
So even if they're
My
in
goodness.
slummy areas, even if they're going through domestic violence, even if all those things
Yes.
are happening, they're saying no. What are the best parts
It's
of
always
our
the American
country?
dream. Everywhere you
Yeah.
go, they
But you know
show.
what? I don't think that's just an American thing. Look at our neighbors next door who have also mastered the art of-
Kenya, nah?
No,
Rwanda.
that-
Or Rwanda, yes.
It's on me.
branding galore. Because I've never been to Rwanda, and I don't know that I ever will, but
You should. It's gorgeous.
maybe. But even I have this perception of the country like, wow, Rwanda, they figured it out, and everyone's like, don't let this fool you.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
When I went, I was more impressed by Rwanda.
Also, there's Kigali,
Kigali, yes.
and then
that's
there's
what I was about
Rwanda,
to say
right?
Kigali, yes.
Like
true.
Kampala
Kigali.
and Uganda.
And Uganda.
Kampala, no, don't do that. Don't do Kampala is Uganda.
Parts outside, but outside Kampala is actually extremely beautiful.
Yeah.
It really is.
And I would
beautiful.
brand
And
those.
we should be
I would
branding
brand-
that,
yes,
right?
we don't brand enough.
We
You're
don't
right.
brand enough.
We don't brand
But I say
enough.
that to say that I don't think it's an America thing or the West thing. I think certain countries, depending on who the people at the top
Excellent.
are,
Look
are
at
just,
UAE.
yeah,
Oh my
have just
goodness.
figured out how to promote their country.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because also it's a form of capitalism. Like if we can brand this place really well,
Yes.
money they come.
course, yes.
But
Right?
yes, let me throw a spanner in the works.
Oh, that like you always do.
It's a human thing. We all put our best foot forward.
Yeah.
So true.
You think you've
That's
just
so
met
true.
someone, you'll only show your best side
Yeah.
until they discover, more, until you're comfortable enough
Yeah.
to show the rest of it. So I think it's just human. We all put our best
Yeah.
foot
We're all
forward.
selling ourselves. I tell
Well,
people,
thank you.
everything you do,
We're
you're
always
selling
selling
yourself.
ourselves,
You
yes.
are selling something,
Yeah.
whether you like it or not.
Yeah. So I guess then it comes from who's telling the story.
That
Because
is, yes.
when we see
True,
the
that's
stories
true.
about Africa out there, they are very miserable, sad, and so we need what I think we need to
share
learn
our
is we
stories.
need to start
Sharing
sharing
our
our real our stories
Yeah.
and share them really beautifully. So
Do you know what I wonder? I wonder if the challenge is also like a proudness in not benchmarking. Let me explain. So I think sometimes we forget, and I used to make this mistake and people used to call me out. America got their independence way before Uganda did, right? A lot of these Western developed countries got their independence way before many
Centuries.
African
Centuries.
countries did, right?
Yeah.
So of course it's going to take time
a
to
while
catch,
for
a
us
while
to
to
catch
catch up.
Yeah.
In the advancement and the time ahead that they've figured this thing out of how to brand, how to put your best foot forward, how to do. We're just not there yet. But where I do think we could maybe do a better job is we shouldn't be looking at the West and saying,
As the standard.
not necessarily like, they're just ahead of us and that is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, challenge yourself to also like pick a few things.
leaf,
Pick
yeah.
a leaf
Yes.
and figure out
Yes.
how do we fast track this process.
those who have
because we've
are
seen
excelling.
it done. Yeah, those who have are excelling. There's African countries that are doing really well.
Really
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Really well.
Well, Samantha, I like that you like your country.
She has high hopes.
defending it, but there are two other countries that are way ahead of us that got independence around the
With
same time. I
us,
think it's
yes.
Singapore
Malaysia,
and
Singapore.
Oh,
they
Singapore,
mentioned-
yeah.
they mentioned
Yeah.
Singapore.
Yeah, but anyway, I like
Actually,
that you like your
did the
country.
president of Singapore say something bad about Uganda in that?
He did.
late-
He did.
Yeah.
He did. He
Yeah.
mentioned.
He was
So
just
it's
like
nice.
disgusted at how slow we are in our development.
Speaking of slowness,
Segue.
they are, living in Uganda, then going to the States for 20 years and then coming back. I'm sure there's some things that shocked you. There's some culture shocks when you came here. One of the things that I know happened is probably you came and your relatives are asking, so Do you have children? You know those questions that you really shouldn't be asking. If I had a child and I'm at a party, a family party, you'll probably see someone pulling my skirt or something.
Yeah, that's true.
No man even. So what are those things that probably shocked
So
you?
I will say I was very, very fortunate. I think my family members and family friends just put me in a bucket of that one is from America, leave her. Because I didn't get that pressure.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
I didn't get the pressure from family and friends necessarily, but I saw there's something in the air. In the water, I felt the pressure from me of like, I don't know if it was because every weekend there's a kuhinjira or a wedding or something, but I felt the pressure, but no one was pressuring me, but it was just in the air somehow. So that was nice. But I think the biggest shock, what was the biggest shock? The community part was an adjustment. I know, like, for example, my husband, my in-laws, sorry. They're very close. They get together, like, often enough just. My mother-in-law loves to host a lot, and we're always being invited to the house when she's hosting her friends. And I'm just like, what does that have to do with it?
Yes.
Like even me.
Like,
It's excessive.
why am I here? And I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. But it's like the involvement of all family members are involved in this thing. I think took a bit of time to adjust. I'm fine with it. I love his family, so it's cool. There, I think we got together for like Christmas, Thanksgiving, graduation. Maybe like somebody's graduated. Let's celebrate. Otherwise, you're in your nucleus. Like it's just your mom, your dad, you. Here, it's the cousins, everybody.
And a new cousin every week.
And a new cousin every week, right?
week.
So that was a bit of an adjustment, but that's more married life. I don't know that that's how it is. Is it how it is?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
That's
but then now
generally.
we have those ones who are evolving now, like Barbara. Their husbands are celebrating 50 years. They only invite family, some family and some.
Yeah. That happens. She's like, I don't feel sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
So
it is what it is.
I think she has some American blood.
Wait for mine.
Oh wow.
Ouch! Shots fired.
I know.
No,
right?
but there wasn't much shock, honestly. There wasn't much shock. No. The drinking culture here.
Oh, which one? Sorry.
It's the
Water.
water.
Because they're telling us 2 liters of water a day.
Whoa! Ugandans can drink. Ugandans can drink. Ugandans can party. Ugandans can drink.
Partying, yes, partying.
It's now special.
I think that one still gets me to this
Ugandans
day.
party.
I'm like, we're still what? It's guys. It's bedtime.
Yeah.
Why are we still out at this? Like now I've adjusted. My friends know me.
Yes.
My people know me. I'm out at a certain time. But I didn't understand. Why does everything have to involve drinking?
Oh yeah.
Why are we always
have a good time
drinking? Like,
without
why can't we have a good time without alcohol?
No. By then in Uganda, no.
And you can even pay
There's
afterwards.
a spirit that binds.
Literally.
Literally.
So
That one took some time to adjust.
And
Also,
you don't
because
have
places, places in America close at 2. Maybe
yeah,
3.
they do.
Like if you go out to a
Yes.
bar, club, whatever.
yeah, they don't close.
Uganda
they
people are
don't.
walking into
Yeah,
the
they
club at
don't.
3, and those who are leaving are being asked, where you going?
No. When I go for early morning walk, 6:30, people are leaving.
Yes.
So you find cars just leaving parking lots.
Have you
How is
passed
this
by
like-
Acacia in the morning?
No, by then it's everywhere. It's Acacia, Kabala.
By the way,
Now,
yeah.
the other thing about Acacia is that there's traffic.
Yes.
And then you're like, Mukwano, you're on yesterday's time.
Yes.
Affecting my today's
out
time.
of the
Out
way.
taking children to school. You are going home with a hangover.
And I think the thing was also
Please.
during the week. Like I'm used to
During
people
the week.
partying.
Friday.
On the weekend. I always tell people, I'm like, on a school night?
Yeah.
Guys, we have work tomorrow.
There's a
Why
guy,
are you calling me on a Wednesday night, on a Tuesday?
On a Tuesday night.
To go where?
There's a guy who was on X, I think he was Ghanaian, he came to Uganda for like a month or so. And he said Uganda is the country where you have to ask people constantly, guys, what day of the week is it?
Yeah.
Because he said he partied every day and there was a plan every day
Was he on
to
holiday?
party. He was here working. But there was a plan every day. Let's go to this one, let's go to it. So you'd have to ask. So
And you
what
can
day
get
of the
caught
week?
up
He
in
lost
this, yeah.
count of which day of the week. He said we partied every
It's
day.
insane. There's not a day of the week where nothing's
And
like,
no one is barred from the entry. Come in, come in. You've come for, I think so. Yes.
You can't even go to
Have you
weddings.
come for Paul's
by the
party?
way,
I
how
suppose
many
that's
weddings
his
have
name.
crashed?
You've crashed weddings. You're so
As a plus
Ugandan.
one, I've become Ugandan, right?
Yes.
As a plus one, is it crashing? Anyway, so-and-so's wedding, let's go.
Yeah. No, let me tell you.
An unofficial plus one.
No, there are people who will say, I'm hungry.
Stop
Let me
it,
go to
no.
Africana.
Workshops.
For
Workshops.
Yes.
There are lots of
And
workshops.
as
By
an
the
event
way-
planner, there are times I see them. There are people I look at and
You
I'm
just write
Guys.
consultant.
Anyway.
Profession,
Anyway,
consultant,
it's
researcher.
just food.
That's so
No,
true.
honestly, there are times you can identify someone. They look, they're over trying to compose themselves and look organized. Actually, anyway.
I went to Miss Steele yesterday for an event. There were 2 events going on. So I walked up to what I thought was the one I was supposed to be at. Sign in booth. She was like, oh, are you here for that? I was like, yes, da, 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 da. She gave me the thing, sign in. Fill here for your transport.
Yes.
Yes, they were refund. 150K. I was like, 150K transport.
Just where have I come
Where have I
from?
come from? But okay. Science, I was like, I didn't realize this event was for transport, whatever. Then I entered, no ID check, no nothing. She just let me in. Then I entered and I was like, I'm not supposed to be here. Wrong event. And then I went to the right event. But the fact that there was no checks and balances or ways to know, and I was honest enough to be like, can you please scratch my name? At least you send me 150K by mistake.
I was just about to ask that.
No, I was very honest about it. I told them. No, I was honest. But I can imagine how many people can easily do that. You walk into an event,
free food,
you eat
get
free
food,
food,
get
get transport.
They're told by their friends, this one they're giving us transport. Come over. Yes, you're told by your friends.
So it's one of the things.
It's one of
really
those
just
things.
Ugandan. Yeah.
I love it. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for including your own rodeo drive experience. Hollywood was.
That disappointment.
Hollywood did its own way.
But DC
It's
didn't
been
disappoint.
great.
No, DC didn't disappoint.
Yeah.
DC
Guys,
was amazing.
yeah,
It
DC
was
is nice.
really what it said it was.
Yeah.
No, it's been great. I love the idea of home, of identity shifting, understanding who you are, because every day we grasp closer to whom we aspire to be.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get there, sometimes you feel we're drawn further away.
Yeah.
I believe anywhere can be home, but this is not about me, it's about the diaspora, learning from Samantha.
Yeah.
I'm sure you have questions. Some of you may be listening from the diaspora now, because we have those from Qatar, from different places who say, I'm hearing from US, glad to be here. Share your story. And those who are planning on going, share about what you're planning on going. Wish you the best wherever you are. Home is home. God bless you so much. Let's look at how home has made these fabulous women glamorous.
Oh yes.
Tell us.
Zuri Luxury. Obviously, that's the home for my hair.
You feel poetic. Oh my God. Take a moment.
So dead.
You feel poetic.
I'd come
Take
with
a
that
moment.
English word to come with for today, but I forgot. That's the thing about English. You know,
Right?
I need
Why
to
don't you just say
write.
you forgot microwave?
No, English, the word,
The word.
microwave, right? But because she has such bombastic English,
Bombastic.
Come with something
I said
to challenge her.
From this show, I'm going to come with some bombastic English. I want Beverly too. Either be shocked or be wowed.
She's always the one in the comments saying, I like Beverly's English.
Yes,
I like the way Beverly speaks.
But
Are we speaking?
I don't know. So I'd come with one, but I forgot it. But next
episode.
I'm coming with it.
What am I writing?
That said, my face paint is by Tina Brown.
It's lovely.
This lovely dress is by Cadia.
Beautiful.
I keep saying I need to go.
Yes.
To Cadia.
I met Tina Browse recently.
Oh, she's amazing.
Strikingly gorgeous. I
Yes,
loved her immediately. She
yes.
recognized me, of course, and I just thought you are strikingly gorgeous immediately.
She is.
Oof,
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
She's such energy.
Yes.
Like when she gets into
I think she's an
it.
artist. That's
She's
why she
beautiful.
paints people's faces so well. She understands the art behind it.
I love it.
Lovely. I love your blue. It's a lovely.
I didn't know that's what we were doing.
Full mark.
Rodeo Drive,
America, like I didn't know. Otherwise, I would have rocked in with, something homegrown.
local content.
Some local content. Hair by Rena Lively, makeup by Rena Lively. Yeah.
Okay.
The rest is America.
She did great.
Hair and makeup by the beautiful Vicky at Viluxe Hair and Beauty Salon. The dress by David Kabenge. Jewellery by At the Essence Store. Essence store. Sheila of the Essence store.
Yeah.
You know where to find it. And Arija fashions for my clothes, my earrings, glitter girls. I went onto social media and I said I need large hoops the size of a bracelet. Ooh. This was the first people that came up. I picked a call, 2 seconds, they answered, delivered at home in 30 minutes.
I love it.
The efficiency of people who know their business.
Yeah.
We talked about best practices
Yes,
that she
customer
maybe
service,
learned from
professionalism.
Diaspora. But I was really pleased. The picture was 30 minutes. It was at home. Can you believe that?
You guys,
I love the
is it
profession.
Diaspora?
Diaspora.
All right. Okay.
Diaspora. But depends whom you're asking. Whom are you asking?
You.
Samantha.
For us.
You from the diaspora, wherever you're from. Thank you so much for being part of us. Home is here right now. Bump love. Share your home situations with us. We love you. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye.